Alright everybody, welcome back to Skyblock News. Today we're here for the Hypixel Skyblock Foraging Update trailer. It is about to drop, so today we are going to be taking a look. We are currently live on Twitch with a bunch of people watching, as well as live on YouTube with a whole bunch more people watching, and we are incredibly excited because the trailer will start momentarily. Alright, this is a play-by-play now. We're in play-by-play. That was a really good trailer. They're cooking with that. I'm very excited. I don't think that was underwhelming. I think that was incredible. Anyone who's coping, I think you're coping. That's all. So let's go through a little bit of a play-by-play. I think I do... Which buttons do I press to, like... Wait, I probably want to click on that. And then... There's a button I can press to, like... Okay, that's 5 seconds. Which is the buttons? It's not coming this December, guys. It's pretty much... It's soon, guys. Very, very soon. Alright. Something notable. So this area is still obviously 1.8. This is the main area in the hub. Very important to note that. However, when they go to this area, this is the park. But you can see it's covered in you know, new ground. There's this brand new, this is a new block. Those are the mud bricks. And this is also, like, brand new. This is a rebuilt zone, guys. This is absolutely, like, rebuilt. All of this stuff is rebuilt. 100. This is the park. This is the park. Because if you go here, this is also the park. All of this is the park, guys.
Are they?
They're rebuilding it. Look at this. This is the park.
I was like, do you think they're completely getting rid of the park?
No. Look, you can see. This is the travel to Galatea. From everything from before this point in the trailer is the park.
The park. So, oh.
Yeah.
So you'll have to be in point.
1.20 to go anywhere related to foraging, which makes sense. Which means I think Sven might be getting a rework with this. But you can see, like, this is all brand new. This stuff on the blocks, this is the rooted dirt. That's all 1.19. Right. And also, yeah, the lanterns, and also look at this moss. That's all brand new, guys. So we're getting a full park revamp in addition to the foraging update with Galatea. So this is a full thing, and you can see they redid all of this area. We can't actually see it super well, but you can see here too, this doesn't look like the normal park area. And you can see, look at this block right here. That's not in 1.8. This is a concrete powder. So, that's very, very exciting by itself. It means bare minimum, we're getting a full revamp here. Looks great, by the way. I think the visuals of this area are awesome. Just a bigger overall zone. No complaints there whatsoever. So let's actually get to Galatea now. So you land on Galatea, it seems like you pretty much immediately get introduced to an NPC. It kind of implies the much more linear style that they have been going for a little while now, which I am super big on. There's this new area, obviously. I'm not going to get into crazy detail here related to it. Those are the berries. You'll probably get introduced to that early. Beautiful little town that you just get introduced to super early on. The map itself is huge, by the way. Like, keep in mind, this area from here to, like, here, that's probably a good 300, 400 blocks. And it's not going to be like, or at least seemingly, not going to be like, for example, the Crimson Isle, where you're rushing in, and then you're rushing out, and that's it. You know, you're not really caring about what's in the middle areas. We can't see your cursor? That's fine. I don't really care about that. It's from the bottom to the top of the screen, basically. That's fine. I didn't know I had my cursor capture off. That's fine. You go a little further. It seems like there's this upper area, which we've kind of seen. This is the on the right side, you can see that's the city. On the left side, you see more of the swampy zone. On the bottom, that's that big tree that was probably shown off in the trailer. There's also 3 little villagers huddled around a campfire. They're probably related in some form. Axolotls, 1.20 creatures. More creatures in the water, as you can see. That's that big tree that was shown off a bunch of times. I imagine it's important for some reason. But really just a beautiful zone. Ruins are beautiful. I wonder what the beacon is. There is a beacon on the left. Definitely an interesting thing. Don't know what will it look like from the park in 1.8. I bet in 1.8 we won't be able to see either the park or the Galatea area at all, because it's in 1.21. I imagine what they'll do is they'll have a separate, like, teleport, like, boat, kind of like what they did with the fishing islands, if that makes sense. That's probably what we'll do, or they'll do. This is beautiful right here, by the way. This is absolutely looking incredible. Not looking too crazy. I mean, it's not supposed to look ridiculously crazy. I think it looks great for what it is. The builds are incredible. I mean, look at this city right here. It just looks nice. Very nice to walk through. Very pretty. And then we get to, you know, them showing off. I don't know if there's a new set of armor that they showed off here on the right side. Looks like young dragon armor is somewhat useful, or at least seemingly somewhat useful. Let's see. They showed that guy, the new guy. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
That looked like a new helmet.
That looks like a new helmet, yeah, on the right side.
Yeah, that guy.
All right. And then you can see if I pause it up again, you see that thing in the middle? That's the booster that they show in a little bit. So, very, very interesting there. Obviously collecting the berries. That was something that was talked about kind of briefly.
That's so cute.
It is very cute. I will say this looks very, very nice for a community, like, to play through. They're throwing the axes at the trees. It allows them to get some of the logs that have efficiency. There's an NPC right here, which I think is interesting. As you can see in the green on the top left, kind of. They're swimming. There's a bunch of fishes everywhere. It's just a beautiful, large area. I don't know what to say beyond that. Yeah. This is another thing they talked about is the Starland Sisters. They host contests on their own islands. This is the first of 3 islands that we're getting, guys. So it's definitely a big deal. Kiara was in there, Coral, and they were showing off this with Kaisha, the fusion machine. I don't know what this does. No clue what this does. Probably something related to mystic damage. No clue what it does. Maybe attributes as well. Maybe it's attribute fusions. That could be the new way of attributes. Sawyer with booster info. I don't know how this works as well. Probably going to boost your rates or something like that. Yeah, it probably is for attributes. And the frog. Of course. Look at this little guy. So he kind of leads you around, seemingly, and then you get a reward. This is with the trap system with hunting. You can see you toss him at the dolphin. You caught him. You can help grow certain animals. This is the actual combat zone. With the new 1.20, these are strays. They're using an axe, which I think is interesting. So it seems like there's also some level of secret areas on these islands because you're able to go through this underwater temple, and it seems like there's a puzzle you have to solve. So you probably, for this one, it's pretty obvious. You have to match this on the top to the bottom, and you get some reward. This is probably the equivalent of a god temple, right? They talked about this being an included feature. And the idea of the god temples is, you know, you do the puzzle or you solve it, and then you're able to get some sort of buffer reward. You can see the island's large. It's very important to note how big, show it off. It's just large. It's a big area. There we go. Huge area. So I would say that is definitely a W overall trailer. And I am incredibly excited for the release of the Foraging update and of Galatea. Because not only are we getting the release of Galatea, but they are in fact revamping the park based on what they showed off today. Skeleton Slayer, for strays could be a possibility, yes. That is definitely true, Toad. That's a good point. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have a quick clarification from the Hypixel server. As you can see here, the Foraging trailer is now out. Let's talk about the next step, public alpha. We are not starting a public alpha today, but it will be more than likely this week. So stay tuned this week to find out more information. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that breakdown of the Hypixel Foraging update trailer. I think it came out excellently. They showed off a bunch of new features, including a ton of new stuff related to the park. And I honestly think that stuff is a sleeper pick for some pretty cool additions. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and use code RAIL on the Hypixel store for 5% off your order. It really does help out a ton. Look to the future, fellas. It really does seem like the Foraging update is going to be in it.